I ran in 2014. There were 5 candidates, and 2 of them wanted to get rid of the office. You know, they had been basically gutted, and they wanted to give people less choices, and I said we need elected accountability, so I ran to preserve the office. Back then, there was 2 candidates. It was an open office. The Democrat, David Sartori, ran, and Matt Adamczyk ran. Neither one of these, well, Sartori had been elected something, but Adamczyk had never been elected anything. And I think about when people say to me, I vote for the individual, not the party. And I'm sure some people are sincere about that. I'm not, saying everybody's lying. But the election results were the Republican who wanted to get rid of the seat won. He did nothing with it for 4 years. But he got probably 1.3 million votes. The Democrat got 1.2 million votes, obviously less. And I'm sitting there thinking, if you didn't know who the Democrat and the Republican was, how many votes would they have gotten then? Because obviously I and the Libertarian and the Green candidates were distant in our... But then I ran last 2016, and I want to thank Nick Sumbles for all the tremendous work he did coming into Wisconsin and collecting signatures. Couldn't have done it without him. So, and I want to thank Chairman Flukiger for the strategy he developed to focus on one campaign, the lesser office of treasurer, which is still a basically gutted office. The gal who ran as a Democrat to preserve the office, make it stronger, from what I can tell, she's done nothing with it either. But there were 3 candidates this time. There was the Republican, the Democrat, and the Constitutionalist. And obviously I did different things this time. I learned things from the 2014 race that I did differently. And I got to share this with you because this is again that thing about I vote the individual, not the party. The Democrat won. She comes from the party that says there's too much money in politics. She spent over $500,000 on television ads, and they were nice ads, beautiful ads. Don't get me wrong. She spent over $500,000 on a job that pays less than $70,000 a year. And the Republican, he worked at U.S. Bank. And the bank came to him and said, if you run for treasurer, we do business with the state. It might be a conflict of interest. If you run for it, we may not be able to keep you on. And I'm sitting there thinking, you're not going to risk your job for it. He wanted to get rid of the office. He voted in April on the referendum to amend the Constitution to eliminate our state treasurer. And and it failed. So we kept the office of treasurer so we have more elected accountability. But he said, I voted to get rid of it. And after the voters voted to keep it, he said, well, it's here now, and we just got to deal with it and make it stronger. And I'm sitting there, you fraud. And knowing that he could lose his job, his income, he goes ahead and runs for an office that he wanted to get rid of. And sure enough, U.S. Bank fired him. And I'm sitting there going, you voters can't be this dumb to vote for a guy with this poor judgment. There's no way. But then I forgot he's got an R behind his name. So he spent $12,000. So who in here is good at math? Okay. 500,000 and 12,000. What's the percentage difference of that? I think it's like 2%. I thought I did the math on it. So he spent a fraction of what she spent, yet somehow, some way, he got 108,000 votes less than she did. He got 1.2 million, she got 1.3 million. So it's like, yeah, you vote the individual, not the party. Okay, all right. Of course, I doubled my poll returns, but I want to say if it hadn't been for Chairman Flukiger putting together that strategy to send Nick into Wisconsin, even with Mark Gabriel, you're a signature collecting machine. I went out with him. Oh, I got to tell you this story quick. How much time should I talk?
4 minutes.
Okay, I'll wrap it up. But I just think about that and I say, yeah, I vote the individual, not the party. And it's like, it's an awful lot of people voting for someone who's never run for office before and barely spent a fraction of what the winner spent. But anyway, it is what it is, and we know the truth. But so because of them, we were able to get on the ballot and poll well. I got, 2 point something percent? Which,
29,000 votes plus 2.3%, so you're the
yeah,
total that we've ever racked up for a
Yeah.
this election.
thank you. But I got to thinking as I was watching the election results on the ticker on TV, you know, that thing goes in the bottom of the screen, my numbers kept going up, and it got, oh, please let me get to 30,000, and then I broke 30,000. Oh, I can, come on, 35,000, I can. Every time I kept going, oh, come on, I can do better. Oh, I got 50,000, now I can get 55,000, that'd be great. So, and then I got to almost 60,000, I'm like, darn it, few votes short of 60,000, I almost made it. But, yeah, that's right. So, the thing is, folks, the Libertarians and the Greens messed up. They ran only candidates for governor. In Wisconsin, when you run for statewide office, you get 1% of the total vote cast. You retain ballot access for 4 more years. They only ran candidates for governor. They got less than 1%. They're not going to be on the ballot anymore. So,
Don't tell them either.
yeah, no. They don't need to know. But, so now, and we believe in competition, we believe in choices, so don't get me wrong. I mean, it's, the less choices is not good for a republic form of government. But there's going to be the Republican, Democratic, and Constitution on the ballot in Wisconsin. So the problem is we got to get out there and educate the people about what Constitution is. But I will say this, Mark, when we were in Appleton on Memorial Day, and he'll tell you a story about how when we were down there to get signatures, people waiting in the parade, they got nothing else to do. Yeah, we'll sign your thing. Wonderful weather that day, too. It was misting, and then it got nice and humid for us. But anyway, there was a couple people down there, parade organizers, said, you can't do this. You can't be down here. And Mark just went into him about the Constitution and how this is a public street and we have a right to be out here. And, well, but this is for families, and, you know, it's a special thing that we're, And I just let Mark go. I just stood back, and he's doing fine. He don't need me. But as we got near the end, this is my final story. There was one lady who I was saying, my name's Zuelke. I'm running for state treasurer. Can I count on you for a signature so you can have more choices? And she said, you know, what party are you from? And I'm like, I expect that. Oh, I'm with the Constitution Party. Right away she said, oh, I've heard of you people. That's what we need to get to a point where nobody ever says Constitution Party, what's that? You know. So even if they don't agree with us in the end, they've heard of us, name recognition's everything. On that point, one more thing I'll say quickly. When I first ran for city council in Ripon, I drive by the little white schoolhouse all the time. Anyway, I got 39 or 40% of the vote in a two-way race. The guy who beat me was well known in the community. Name recognition is huge. So if nothing else, focus on that too, because he was known for coaching the Little League. He was known for being on the radio. He was the guy that set up the ice rink downtown in winter. People knew his name. They hadn't heard of me. So that's all I got to say on that, and thank you.